Well, I think, Jonathan, this is a very dangerous development where you have the Speaker of the House openly calling for congressional committees to be used as really an obstruction of justice vehicle for Donald Trump. And we've seen to this point almost every activity conducted by the Judiciary Oversight and the so-called Weaponization Committee has been to go after the president, the former president's political adversaries, the current president and his family. And so now they're going to take it to another level to meddle with the district attorney in Manhattan's investigation. So they're going to start targeting the people who are conducting that investigation. They're going to go after the attorneys. They're going to go after what evidence they have. They're going to go after, heck, it wouldn't surprise me if they try to find out who's actually on this grand jury and to go after them and to do deep oppo research on anyone that's a part of this process to try to undermine this case. And it's a flagrant abuse of power, of congressional authority. This is not what oversight authority is for. Oversight authority is to look at the federal government, to look at how taxpayer resources are being used and deployed at the federal level, not to meddle with a Manhattan DA's investigation.
So in an interview on ABC, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie was asked about Trump's claim that he'll be arrested tomorrow. Here's what he had to say.
The circus continues. I mean, look, he only profits and does well in chaos and turmoil. And so he wants to create the chaos and turmoil on his terms. He doesn't want it on anybody else's terms. John, you know this. You know him well. He wants it on his terms. But look, at the end, being indicted never helps anybody. It's not a help. Now, I think that this of the three investigations, I think this is the one where people know the most. And so because they know the most, they're going to take it less seriously. I don't think there's many Americans who don't believe that Donald Trump had an affair with Stormy Daniels and that don't believe that he paid her money at the end of the campaign to keep it quiet. So I don't think that the American people probably see this as a huge crime. But the vision of a former president of the United States being processed, fingerprinted, mugshotted, you know, for what else do you expect Trump to say, as I said to George last week, than to say it helps his campaign? But being indicted, I don't think it ever helps anybody.
Sliver of Republican honesty there. Kurt Bardella, I actually disagree. He says that most Americans know the most about this case. I would say January 6th is an event, set of events that people watched play out in real time, and they know a great deal about it, including these marauders, these Trumpers, running through the halls of the Capitol, threatening people's lives, bashing through windows, defecating, throwing papers and rummaging through desks. I mean, American people know a lot about that case, and so that will be an interesting one to watch as it plays out. For this one, I guess I would say to Chris Christie, a crime is a crime is a crime is a crime. That's what anybody prosecuting or a judge would say.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Meek. And I agree with you that of all the things that we associate with Donald Trump that has fallen under scrutiny, it is January 6th. It is the big lie. I don't think that most people, while they might be aware that something happened with Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, I don't think they understand the legality, the true nature of why that's a crime and
the
what's
money
really
part,
going on there. And I think that's what's going to need some education. And I think that's, again, for Donald Trump to go out there and for Kevin McCarthy to go out there and say all these things and for Jim Jordan to potentially announce some investigation without even knowing the facts, without actually anything hasn't even happened yet. There hasn't been an arrest of Donald Trump. There hasn't been information put out there in the public domain. To make these assumptions before knowing the facts has become a familiar refrain for Republicans right now. And we're seeing exactly the same pattern with how they're going after the Biden family. They go out there, they make all these pronouncements, all these declarations, and then they spend the next 5 weeks trying to find the evidence. And they have to admit, when asked, is there evidence? There isn't any. It's the same pattern we're seeing repeat itself now as they try to run interference for Donald Trump.